What if the Imperial Guard was thrown into Hotline Miami? Welcome to Disposable Corps. This fast-paced, brutal tactical shooter is one that Warhammer fans will absolutely love. So let's check out some of the gameplay and dive into it. Are you ready to take on the role of cannon fodder? Are you currently an Imperial Guard player, or maybe a Drukhari player, Gene Stealer Coles player that already does that on the tabletop? Well, now you can actually live out your video game version of this in Disposable Corps. It's a fun, fast-paced game that lets you take on that role of cannon fodder and fight in the Grimdark aesthetic that shows up here. In this retro-futuristic game, you get to take on the role of one of the expendables as you strive in a mass combat situation to really enjoy this game and bring out all of the fun that comes with this type of gameplay. This game will really appeal to fans of the Astra Militarum, Darktide, Necromunda, and a lot of other branches of Warhammer 40k that enjoy the mass wave expendables. Even some branches of the Tyranids do this as well, where you get to just throw bodies at it. And in this game, every soldier is expendable. You die, you reclone, and you repeat. That's how this game works. And it's something that I really enjoyed as well. So let's talk about some of the gameplay and why you enjoy it as well. One of my favorite things with this game was how quick-paced it is. It's a very driven test of how quick you can react and your skills, because you live, you die, you reclone, and you repeat frequently. And you get a lot of really cool squad customization and dynamics in this game as well that helps you really bring out the enjoyment of the game and give you more that you can do. So if you're a fan of XCOM's squad mechanics, or Darktide's chaos and pacing, or even Hotline Miami's reflex testing combat, you can really enjoy this game as well. And it's one that I would absolutely recommend. This is a fun one to play just casually or to get really into as well. And the tactical skills on it required are a lot of fun. So I definitely make sure you check it out on Steam when you have a chance. Do you want to play a game where you're Acadian without any backup, or maybe you want to be a Kriegsman charging into an enemy line? This is the game for you for sure. It gives you that opportunity to fully enjoy it without having to pick up a rifle yourself and go into combat. It's a very, very fun, fast-paced game that is really easy to play. If you're a fan of tactical futility and charging into combat, even though your losses are probably going to be really high, this is a big one for sure. It does mimic some of the situations we see in World War I and in more recent combat in the East, where you do have a lot of that feudal charging and feudal combat to really get nothing or gain very little territory. And because of that, you get to really experience that up front. It's a game that has a very craveable tone to play, similar to 40K, without all of the overhead. It's, like I said, it's a very basic logistics game that you can sit down and enjoy pretty quickly. On top of that, it does have a very tight mission structure and gritty action storytelling system that I think you guys will really enjoy for sure. You can even roleplay one of the guard regiments gone rogue or the Chaos Guard and take this enjoyment to the next level for those of you who enjoy that kind of stuff. That means it has a very low upfront cost, and it's a very easy point of entry for video gamers and war gamers. If you're wanting to get into these more user-friendly games and not have to worry about the high cost of it, this is where I'd start for sure. Something that's really important to me, especially since as an indie author, I try and support these small guys, because in the world we live in, a lot of big corporations and big gaming houses and publishers push out a lot of the important voices that we have in our communities and make it very hard for a lot of people to do what they love for very dumb reasons. And we're not going to get into that. We've already talked about that in a previous video. But for me, supporting indie game developers and indie authors is extremely important, because I know that grind and I know that pressure. So this indie game culture leads to short, addictive missions. You have a very, very tight community that the devs are involved in and are actively looking for feedback and suggestions and things like that. It also has a very high-value narrative-driven storyline that pulls the fans in and gets them very involved. So if you haven't been able to tell, I really did enjoy this game as well. I'm still going to be playing it a lot more. So if you're friends with me on Steam or follow me anywhere around there, you'll see I will try and get to this when I can. Obviously, life is insane right now with the book coming up here in just a few months and another one due for a publisher here in a little while. But this was one I had to support because I love indie games. If you haven't been able to tell, I think all but one of the games I've done a promo video for is an indie game as well. And I always love supporting them, especially when they're good games. If they're a good game and an indie game, I absolutely will throw my weight behind it and share it with you guys. So if you enjoyed throwing your tabletop models into the meat grinder, now you can become one in Disposable Corps. And make sure you check that out on Steam. It's one that I really enjoy. And let me know down in the comments below which faction you think would be the best represented with a game like Disposable Corps so that you could play it in the Warhammer 40K universe. And don't forget to like and subscribe. We've got a lot of really cool videos upcoming, including more lore-accurate armies, as well as more video games, depending on how things go and what video game developers want me to do. And I will see you guys later.